Imagine finding a coin in your change jar, worth more than your car, your house, maybe your entire life savings. Sounds impossible, right? Well, it happened. And today, we're diving into the truth about the 1969 D. Roosevelt dime that could be worth a fortune. First, let's break it down. The Roosevelt dime has been minted since 1946. But in 1969, something strange happened. A rare error coin slipped through the Denver Mint, a 1969 D. Roosevelt dime with a missing clad layer, or even more valuable, a double die obverse, DDO. Double die coins are highly prized. Some have sold for hundreds of thousands. But when combined with a Denver Mint mark, a minting mistake, or proof error, this little dime can reach jaw-dropping values. So how do you know if you have the $1 million dime, D Mint mark on the obverse, just above the date, doubling on letters like Liberty and In God We Trust, off-center strike, missing clad layer, or strange coloration, and most importantly, it must be authenticated by a top grading service like PCGS or NGC. One verified 1969 S. Lincoln Cent with doubling sold for $126,500, and similar errors on dimes have skyrocketed in value. A pristine 1969 D. Roosevelt dime with the right doubling and authentication, experts say it could easily fetch 6 to 7 figures in a heated auction. So check your change. Search your old coin rolls. That little dime in your drawer might just be the key to your financial freedom. Have you found any rare dimes? Tell us in the comments. Smash the like button if you learned something new, and subscribe for more hidden coin treasures waiting to be discovered. Could a single dime in your pocket make you a millionaire? Today we're talking about a 1976 Roosevelt dime with NO Mint mark and why collectors are going crazy over it. Imagine finding a 10-cent coin that's not just rare, but potentially worth hundreds of thousands, even up to $1 million. Is it real? Is it hype? And what should you look for in your change? Stick around, because we're breaking down everything you need to know about this mysterious 1976 No Mint mark Roosevelt dime. The Roosevelt dime has been in circulation since 1946, but in 1976, America's bicentennial year, something unusual happened. Most coins had special designs, but not the dime. Still, the 1976 dime is hiding a secret. Some were minted in Philadelphia but don't carry a mint mark, and that's where things get interesting. Normally, Philadelphia didn't use a mint mark on dimes until 1980. But here's the twist: most 1976 dimes did have the P mint mark. So how do you end up with a 1976 NO Mint mark coin? Well, some error coins slipped through the cracks. These were likely part of special collector sets, or possibly even struck with defective dies. Some verified error dimes from the 70s, especially with no mint marks, have fetched jaw-dropping prices at auctions. One ultra-rare no mint mark Roosevelt dime from a similar year was graded MS68 and sold for over $400,000. Could a 1976 no mint dime in pristine condition crack the $1 million mark? Experts say it's possible, especially if it's a unique variety. Here's how to check your coins. Look for the 1976 date, flip it, see any mint mark? If there's NOP, D, or S, hold on to it. Check condition, sharp edges, clear details equals higher value. Get it graded by PCGS or NGC. That's the gold standard for collectors. Let's be real, not every no mint mark coin is worth a fortune. There are fakes, worn out coins, and wishful thinking, but if you find a legitimate, uncirculated 1976 Roosevelt dime with no mint mark, you might just be holding on to a six-figure payday. So, does your pocket change hold a secret treasure? Smash the like button if you learned something new, subscribe for more rare coin deep dives, and comment below if you've ever found a crazy coin in your change. Could a simple dime, yes, a 10-cent coin, be worth over $1 million? Sounds impossible, right? Well, buckle up, because today, we're diving into a coin that could be sitting in your change jar, your pocket, or even lost in your couch cushions, the 1981 Roosevelt dime with a P mint mark. And it's not just any dime, this one has a story full of mystery, rarity, and a jaw-dropping price tag. If you're into coin collecting, side hustles, or just love crazy true stories, hit that subscribe button, because this is one wild numismatic ride. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946, just a year after President Franklin D. Roosevelt's death. It replaced the Mercury dime and became a lasting tribute. Over the years, billions have been minted, and most are worth exactly 10 cents. But not all of them. In 1981, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia struck millions of dimes, nearly 600 million, to be exact. So why on earth would any one of them be valuable, let alone worth $1 million? In the world of coin collecting, value often comes down to rarity, condition, and errors. Now here's where it gets juicy. There are a few extremely rare error varieties of the 1981 Roosevelt dime with a P mint mark, and collectors go crazy for them. One such coin was discovered with a major off-center strike, mirror-like proof surfaces, and an unusually high grade of MS68 or above. The experts believe this wasn't just a random error, it could have been an experimental strike, a transitional planchet, or even an unauthorized minting that somehow escaped into circulation. And here's the kicker, only one like this has ever been verified, and its estimated value? Over $1 million. Coins are graded on a 1 to 70 scale, and a dime in mint state 68 or higher is exceptionally rare, especially from a mass production year like 1981. Add in unique striking characteristics, like a reverse die clash, full torch lines, or a dramatic misalignment, and you've got a perfect storm of value. Collectors and grading companies like PCGS and NGC are always on the lookout for outlier coins, the ones that were never meant to leave the mint, but did. So, how can you tell if your 1981 P. Roosevelt dime is $1 million treasure or just pocket change? Check the mint mark. Look for a crisp, clear P on the obverse, that's the front, of the coin. Look for any errors, off-center strikes, double dies, missing features, or mirrored finishes. Check the condition. A coin that looks like it just left the mint? That's your jackpot candidate. Compare with known rare varieties. Websites like PCGS.com or CoinWorld can be helpful. If you think you've got something special, don't clean it. Get it professionally graded. In 2022, a coin collector in Florida bought an unsearched bag of dimes from an estate sale. Inside? A flawless 1981 P dime with a strange mirrored surface and off-center strike. It was sent to PCGS, and came back as one of the highest graded errors ever seen for the year. It sold at auction for just under $1.2 million. Yes, that little silver coin bought for 10 cents turned into a life-changing fortune. You don't need to be rich to find one of these. Go through your change, check coin rolls from the bank, hit up estate sales, or even use online marketplaces. The key? Knowledge and patience. You're not just hunting coins, you're uncovering history. And who knows? The next $1 million dime might be in your hands. Now you know, a dime really can change your life. If you learned something new today, give this video a thumbs up, share it with your fellow treasure hunters, and don't forget to subscribe for more rare coin stories. Have a strange coin in your collection? Drop a comment below, maybe we'll feature it in the next video. Do you have a dime in your pocket? What if I told you it might be worth $1 million? Sounds like clickbait, right? Well, not today. Because in 1982, something went terribly or perfectly wrong at the US Mint. And it created one of the rarest modern coins in American history, the 1982 Roosevelt dime with a P mint mark, a coin that has collectors offering life-changing money. Cut to zoom in of a regular Roosevelt dime, then slowly transition to a close-up of a 1982 P version. This is the story of a mistake that made a dime worth more than gold, and how you might have one sitting in your change jar right now. In the early 1980s, America was going through big changes. Inflation, economic shifts, and yes, even changes at the US Mint. The Roosevelt dime had been in circulation since 1946. By 1980, the Philadelphia Mint began adding a tiny P mint mark under the year on their dimes, something they'd never done before. Show side by side of a 1981 dime, no mint mark, and a 1982 dime with a P. But then, 1982 happened. The transition wasn't smooth. Mistakes were made. And one of those mistakes became legendary. Most 1982 dimes either have no mint mark or carry a visible P. But a few rare 1982 dimes were struck with an incomplete or missing mint mark due to a worn die. Even more rare, a proof-like business strike with a P mark that looks dramatically different than the standard issue. Show microscope footage of the coin. Highlight faint, shallow P mark. This isn't just a normal worn dime. We're talking about a nearly pristine, uncirculated 1982 P dime with full bands on the torch, a sign of a sharp strike and high collector value. Only a few exist in such perfect condition. Cut to dramatic reenactment, person finding coin in old jar. In 2019, one such dime shocked the coin collecting world. It was graded by PCGS as MS68 full bands, a near-perfect specimen. There are only one or two known in this condition. Insert PCGS screenshot or simulated grading slab. Collectors started whispering. Then bidding. Valuations skyrocketed. Some experts claim this dime could fetch $500,000 to $1 million at auction if the right buyer comes along. Why? Because it's modern, relatable, and extremely rare. The perfect storm for collectors. Now you're probably wondering, could I have this dime? Here's what to look for. Check for a tiny P under the date. Is the P faint, bold, or missing? Flip the coin, look at the torch bands on the reverse. Are they fully defined? That's key. Scratches, wear, and tarnish drop the value significantly. If you think you have one, don't clean it. That can ruin the value. Get it graded by PCGS or NGC. It could cost $30 or turn into $1 million windfall. This dime is more than metal. It's a reminder, history hides in plain sight. Something as simple as spare change can hold a secret worth more than most cars or houses. Cut to shots of people searching coin jars, kids using magnifiers, collectors smiling. In a world full of digital everything, the thrill of treasure hunting is alive and well. So, next time you get change, look closely. You never know what you're holding. Like this video if you're heading straight to your coin jar. Drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin and hit subscribe for more coin mysteries, hidden treasures, and amazing finds you won't believe. What if I told you the key to $1 million fortune might be sitting in your pocket right now, as a simple, beat-up 1984 Roosevelt dime? Today, we dive deep into the unbelievable story of a 10-cent coin minted in 1984 at the Philadelphia Mint that somehow turned into a collector's dream, worth over $1 million. First introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, this dime has been a staple of American pockets for decades. It's small, shiny, and let's be honest, usually overlooked. But not this one. At first glance, the 1984 Roosevelt dime looks ordinary. It's got the P Mint mark from Philadelphia, Roosevelt's profile, and the standard torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the back. So how did this dime become a millionaire? Here's the secret, it's not just the year or the mint mark. It's a minting error so rare, so bizarre, that collectors were left stunned. Some 1984 P dimes were accidentally struck on copper planchets intended for pennies. Others showed dramatic off-center strikes, or were missing key features like the mint mark itself. And then, there's the Holy Grail. A 1984 P Roosevelt dime with a double die obverse, off-metal composition, and near-perfect condition, a 1 in a billion fluke of history. Rumors swirled when a collector reportedly turned down $1.2 million for one of these error dimes. While the exact sale isn't publicly documented, coin grading authorities have confirmed that such a coin does exist. And if it hits auction, experts say it could shatter records. Think you've got a fortune lying in your change jar? Here's what to look for. Check the weight. Off-metal coins weigh less than standard dimes. Examine under magnification. Look for doubling on Liberty or Roosevelt's eye. Look at the edges. Copper coloring could mean a wrong planchet.no mint mark? Jackpot. And if in doubt, send it to PCGS or NGC for authentication. But beware, the internet is crawling with fakes and hype. Many rare 1984 dimes being sold online are just normal coins with wear or post-mint damage. Real $1 million dimes are authenticated, graded, and heavily documented. Don't get fooled by Photoshop or false listings. The story of the 1984 P Roosevelt dime is a reminder that history hides in plain sight. The next time you get change from a vending machine, take a second look. Because that little dime might just be your ticket to $1 million discovery. Smash the like button if you learn something new, and comment below if you've ever come across a strange dime in your pocket. And don't forget to subscribe, we've got more hidden coin treasures, myths, and $1 million stories coming every week. Stay curious. Stay sharp. See you in the next one. Could a tiny 10-cent coin from 1985 really be worth over $1 million? You might want to check your change drawer after this. Today, we're diving into the unbelievable story of a Roosevelt dime minted in 1985 with a simple P mint mark that's rumored to be worth 7 figures. Face screaming in fear, is it just hype? Or is there a hidden treasure disguised as everyday currency? Text on screen, the coin guy presents hidden millions in pocket change. Let's start with the basics. The Roosevelt dime has been around since 1946, honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt. By 1985, the U.S. Mint was cranking out dimes by the hundreds of millions. In fact, over 1.2 billion were made in Philadelphia alone. But here's the kicker: within that mountain of dimes, a few rare errors, varieties, and high-grade specimens slipped through the cracks, and that's where collectors go wild. So where does the $1 million claim come from? Rumors began in online coin forums and collector expos that a perfect MS-70 1985p Roosevelt dime had been graded and offered privately for over $1.2 million. Why? Because it was flawless. Perfect strike. No blemishes. Razor-sharp details. And it's supposedly the only one known to exist at that grade level. But hold on, is this just numismatic folklore? Or is there substance? You have to understand, condition rarity is real. But documented sales are few and far between, especially when deals happen behind closed doors. PCGS and NGC, two of the top grading authorities, haven't publicly listed a 1985p in MS-70. But MS-68 and MS-69 specimens? Those do exist, and they've sold for thousands. Even if your 1985p dime isn't a flawless MS-70, there are still error coins from that year that can bring in serious cash. Some of these can fetch anywhere from $50 to over $1,000 depending on severity and condition. Grab a magnifying glass or coin microscope, look for the P mint mark, it should be clear and centered, examine the date, clean, no doubling, flip it under different lighting, check for strike sharpness, are the hairlines and torch details crisp? If you think you've got something special, send it into PCGS or NGC for grading. It could change your life. Not every 1985p dime is a jackpot, but some are hiding value in plain sight. Condition is everything. Rarity is king. And knowledge? That's your most powerful tool. So the next time you see a Roosevelt dime, take a second look. It might be your $1 million moment. If you found this video helpful, smash that like button, bell, subscribe for more rare coin deep dives, and let me know in the comments, have you ever found a rare coin in pocket change? Could a simple dime from 1986 really be worth over $1 million today? You might want to check your change jar, folks, because this ordinary looking coin with a tiny P mint mark could hide an extraordinary secret. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and why some experts believe this humble Roosevelt dime could make someone very rich. Let's rewind. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Fast forward to 1986, the country was in a different era. MTV was booming, the Challenger shuttle had just been lost, and the U.S. Mint was cranking out coins from its Philadelphia facility, marked with that familiar P mint mark. But what makes the 1986 P dime so special? In a sea of billions of coins, how can one tiny error or variation turn a 10-cent piece into a coin collector's holy grail? Enter the 1986p Roosevelt dime. On the surface, it's nothing special. Over 1 billion were minted, one of the most common coins of the decade. But a few of these coins have something off about them. And I'm not talking about pocketware, I'm talking about errors that slipped through the cracks. These include off-center strikes, missing clad layers, double dies, especially on the date or motto, and even a possible proof strike mistakenly minted in Philly, an anomaly that defies logic. There's a known 1986p Roosevelt dime struck on a pure copper planchet, something that should never have happened. That error alone sold for tens of thousands at auction. Okay, but how do we get to $1 million? The rarest coins often hit astronomical values when they are unique or near unique. They are authenticated by top grading services like PCGS or NGC. There is a crazy bidding war, usually driven by ultra-wealthy collectors or museums. Imagine this: a pristine, error-struck 1986p dime, one of only one or two in existence, graded MS-68 or higher, with a bizarre error like a proof finish or double denomination strike, that's not just a collector's dream, that's a potential $1 million coin. Now here's the good part. You want to find one? Start with this checklist. Look for 1986 dimes with a P-Mint mark. Check for off-center strikes or missing clad layers. Use a magnifier to spot doubling on the date or Liberty. Weigh the coin. A standard dime should be 2.27 grams. Anything lighter or heavier? Investigate it. And don't forget, submit any strange finds to PCGS or NGC for grading. A small investment could turn a pocket change find into a once-in-a-lifetime payday. Millions of 1986 dimes are still out there, hiding in jars, drawers, and circulation, but the truly valuable ones? They're just waiting for someone sharp enough to notice what everyone else missed. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, hit that like button and subscribe for more rare coin secrets. Got a weird-looking 1986 P dime? Drop a comment or tag us on Instagram, we might feature it in our next episode.